Hello and welcome to the Learning Corner, the place where curiosity meets knowledge. If you're new here, we invite you to join our community of lifelong learners by subscribing to our channel. And if you find our content valuable, remember to like, share, and comment. Your engagement helps us bring more enlightening content your way. Remember, knowledge is power, and it's meant to be shared. To ensure you don't miss any of our educational content, hit the notification bell so you're always in the loop. Now let's dive into today's topic, conquering social anxiety. Stick around to discover more about this common but often misunderstood condition, its underlying science, triggers, coping mechanisms, and how to turn the struggle into strength. Let's get started. Do you ever feel nervous around people, even when you know there's no reason to be? This is a sensation that many of us are familiar with, a phenomenon known as social anxiety. It's a common occurrence that affects countless individuals on varying levels. When you're in a social situation, you may notice your heart rate increasing, or perhaps you start to sweat. You may also experience feelings of fear that seem to come from nowhere. This is your body's natural response to what it perceives as a stressful situation. For most of us, these moments of social nervousness are fleeting and manageable, but for some, it becomes a chronic condition, a constant battle against an invisible enemy. This struggle can be daunting, and it can make the simplest social interactions seem insurmountable. Social anxiety can feel isolating, but remember, you're not alone in this experience. It's a shared struggle that many of us face, and it's one that can be understood and managed. Ever wondered why you get anxious around others? It's not as mysterious as you might think. Let's talk about the science of social anxiety. You see, our brains are hardwired for survival. When we're faced with a threat, our brain activates the fight or flight response. This is a biological reaction that prepares our bodies to either confront or flee from the danger. Now you might wonder, how does this relate to social anxiety? Well, for some individuals, social situations are perceived as threats. The brain interprets these situations as potential danger zones and triggers the fight or flight response. You may not be facing a hungry lion, but to your brain, the fear of embarrassment or rejection in social situations can feel just as threatening. So what happens when this response is triggered? A rush of hormones like adrenaline and cortisol flood your system. Adrenaline increases your heart rate and blood pressure, preparing you for immediate action. You might recognize this as your heart pounding in your chest when you're about to give a presentation or meet new people. On the other hand, cortisol helps your body respond to stress and regulate your mood. But when there's too much cortisol, it can lead to feelings of unease or fear, which can exacerbate social anxiety. The amygdala, a small structure in your brain, plays a key role in this process. It's responsible for processing emotions and is particularly involved in fear responses. When you're in a social situation that makes you anxious, your amygdala goes into overdrive, interpreting the situation as a threat and triggering the fight or flight response. But here's the thing. Just because your brain interprets social situations as threats, it doesn't mean they actually are. It's simply your brain's way of keeping you safe based on its evolutionary programming. So, in essence, social anxiety is your body's overactive defense system responding to perceived social threats. It's not a flaw or weakness, but rather a sign that your body is working exactly as it's supposed to, even if it's a bit overzealous in its efforts. Certain situations tend to trigger social anxiety more than others. Public speaking, for instance, is a common trigger. Just the thought of standing in front of a crowd, all eyes on you, can cause an onset of anxiety. Similarly, meeting new people can be daunting. The pressure of making a good first impression might make you feel like you're under a microscope. Being the center of attention, too, can be overwhelming. Whether it's a birthday celebration in your honor or an unexpected question in a meeting, the spotlight can ignite feelings of unease. Even everyday situations like eating in public or making small talk can be triggers. These situations can make you feel exposed, scrutinized, and judged, fueling your social anxiety. But remember, knowledge is power. Understanding what triggers your social anxiety is the first step towards managing it. By recognizing your triggers, you can take proactive steps to manage your reactions. Managing social anxiety can be challenging, but there are effective strategies you can use. One of the simplest yet most powerful tactics is deep breathing. When anxiety tries to take the wheel, slowing down and focusing on your breath can be a game changer. It's like a mini vacation for your mind, allowing you to regain control and clarity. Another valuable tool in your coping arsenal is mindfulness. This is about staying present, not letting your mind wander into the what-ifs of the future or the should-haves of the past. It's about grounding yourself in the here and now, finding peace in the current moment. You can practice mindfulness through simple activities like savoring a cup of tea, listening to calming music, or even just observing the world around you. Now, let's talk about cognitive behavioral therapy, often referred to as CBT. This is a type of therapy that helps you understand how your thoughts can influence your feelings and behaviors. It's about reprogramming your thought patterns to help manage anxiety. For instance, if you often think, "I'm going to embarrass myself," CBT can help you challenge this thought, break it down, and replace it with a more positive outlook like, "I can handle this." These are just a few strategies, but remember, everyone is different. What works for one person might not work for another. It's about finding what works best for you, experimenting, and giving yourself grace along the way. Of course, it's crucial to mention that if social anxiety is seriously impacting your life, it's absolutely okay. In fact, it's essential to seek professional help. Therapists, psychologists, and other mental health professionals are equipped with the skills and knowledge to guide you through this journey. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. You don't have to face social anxiety alone. There's a whole world of support out there, ready and waiting to lend a hand, because no one should have to navigate the often choppy waters of social anxiety on their own. Social anxiety might be a part of your life, but it doesn't have to define you. In fact, it's more common than you might think. Millions across the globe experience it every day, each in their own unique way. Remember, it's okay to feel nervous around others. It's human. It's normal. The key is not to let these feelings control you. Reach out, connect. There are countless others who understand, who've walked in your shoes, who can offer support. Don't hesitate to seek help, whether from trusted friends, family, or professionals. They can provide you with tools and strategies to manage your anxiety and to thrive in social situations. Self-care is equally important. Practice mindfulness, engage in activities you enjoy, stay active. These small steps can make a big difference in your life. Remember, you are not alone. You are not your anxiety. You are more than your anxiety. You have the strength to navigate social situations even when they feel daunting.